Hello everyone, this is Yara. Welcome to the second video of our series, The Effects of Food Insecurity on Insecure Households and the Individual. Our first topic is coping strategies. Struggling with food insecurity implies struggling to make ends meet in all aspects of life. To survive while being food insecure, many households find themselves stuck in a choosing game where they always have to pick between having food on the table and having access to some other important need. Hunger in America was a study series conducted on charitable food distribution in the United States. In 2014, this study helped shed light on the difficult decisions that struggling households have to make in order to keep food on the table. Households might choose between food and housing, transportation, or utilities. They may even have to choose between food and medical care, in the case that they have to make a co-payment, for example. The study revealed that high percentages of the households served by the nationwide nonprofit organization Feeding America were making these decisions to meet their basic needs. More specifically, 69% of those households reported choosing between food and utilities, 66% for medical care, 67% for transportation, and 57% for housing. There are other ways that households try to deal with the issue themselves. For example, some get help from friends by borrowing money, or they grow food in a garden. Others go so far as to sell or pawn personal property. And even with all these various strategies, many resort to reducing consumption and purchasing inexpensive food. And with the high prices of healthy and nutritious food, this inexpensive food that struggling households are consuming is more often than not unhealthy. This unhealthy diet represents that of 79% of people served by Feeding America in 2014. Next is the impacts of food insecurity on physical health. Food insecurity heavily impacts physical health. Food insecurity is different from the feeling of hunger that we may feel from time to time. It is something more complex and detrimental in the long term. I want to remind you that food insecurity doesn't simply mean not having enough food. It means not being able to afford adequate amounts of nutritious food. Instead of buying healthy foods like fresh fruits or vegetables, many insecure households resort to consuming processed foods to keep their children full, simply because they can't afford the healthier options. Fast food restaurants are a go-to for many of these people. Though this option is financially better in the short term, it is extremely harmful in the long term because it costs these households their physical health. Food insecure households are at a greater risk of developing diet-related diseases. These include heart disease, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. Poor nutrition can also contribute to strokes and obesity. This can start a vicious cycle of unhealthy living that is hard to break. When individuals develop these diseases, they might struggle with affording medical care, as aforestated. This can lead to either poor disease management or less money to afford nutritious meals. Next is on the impacts of stress on the individual. The stress of dealing with food insecurity and economic hardship is a risk factor on its own. The American Heart Association states that stress leads to poor health behaviors such as smoking, unhealthy eating, and physical inactivity. Just like poor nutrition, it can increase the risk of heart disease and stroke. And finally, is the impact of food insecurity on children. Due to insufficient nutrition, children lack the energy they need to function properly. Thus, they are more likely to perform poorly in school, and as a result, they are unable to achieve their full potential. Food insecurity is more harmful to younger children who are still developing, and thus why children risk repeating a grade in their elementary years. Despite this information, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data shows that high school students can still suffer the impacts in their education. The CDC revealed that students who eat breakfast daily get better grades than those who can't. Children may also suffer from health conditions like anemia and asthma. Similar to adults, they are more likely to have behavioral and social problems. To conclude, food insecurity isn't solely a matter of struggling to keep oneself full on a daily basis. It is an issue that alters every aspect of one's life for the worse. It hurts the human body and a person's mental health. We need to help battle this issue and strive to create healthy communities across Queens and wherever else our aid can reach. Thank you.